Hello, everyone. My name is Eduardo Samaniego Maya. I am 28 years old. I am currently in Mexico City after experiencing torture for 3 months and a half in the jails of Georgia and being forced to sign my voluntary departure. I was a human rights and immigrant rights activist and organizer in the United States. And I worked throughout many organizations and throughout many states in the US to advance civil rights for everyone in America.
My name is Judith Samuels. I prefer to be called Jude or Jury. Jury because Jury is an acronym for Just a Unit Radical Youth. I'm Jamaican. I'm lesbian, seeking asylum, still waiting for my asylum hearing, and I'm just simply being me.
I grew up without wanting many things, but always heard the message coming from America, from the United States, the American dream that everyone around me, because in my small town, many migrate to the United States. And so I always wanted to see that place that they described as a place of promise, a place where you could build a life, a place where you could go to school and you could go to college. And I always wanted to explore that place. I remember telling my mother since a very early age, I want to go to the United States because I want to be able to continue my education.
The first time I came here was December the 26th of 2016. I flew into Chicago O'Hare Airport and I experienced xenophobia and racism. When I came here, the first day in the airport, the CBP officers, I think that's what they call them, Custom Border Patrol officers, they thought I was bringing in drug because I'm a Rastafarian and because I'm Jamaican.
I wish that people would always remember that we as immigrants don't choose to just leave our families and everything behind one day. We are forced by the many conditions that affect our countries, and we arrive to a country that we don't know, where we don't speak the language, where we don't know the society, and it's more than just a simple decision. It's the ability to leave behind an entire life and everything that you have built for something that you don't know if it's gonna work out.
We are not here to get benefits. And when we come here, we don't actually get benefits. It's so hard for us to get benefits because a lot of people think that, hey, we're here to take from the system, which we're not. We're hardworking. We work for what we want. We work to not only support ourselves, but to support our families back home.
Just as I remember the first time when I stepped foot in the state of Texas, where I had been, taken for the first time. I remember that it was so hot. It was really just an unbearable heat outside. I remember of that heat just embracing me for the first time, and everything I could do was look around and admire the things that I had never imagined I could see, the the many people, the different language for me that I had never spoken before. The first day when I was told in the morning, I thought that my auntie was gonna take me to the school, and she was gonna drive me there. But she said that's not how it works here, Eduardo. And I said, "What do you mean? I have to walk? I was ready to walk to school, And she said, at 7:30, you're gonna stand on this." I'm sorry, this is it's one of the happiest memories I've had. You're gonna have to stand on the corner of this street. There's gonna be a bus that is gonna pick you up, and in that bus there is gonna be all the other students from the neighborhood, and you're gonna get to meet all the people and all our neighbors for the first time. And as I was getting into the bus, I sat all the way to the front. Suddenly all the kids came poking me on the arm, and everybody tried to speak English to me. And I remember just saying, going like this, I don't, I no, 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 no English. And that was one of the happiest moments, because everyone was ready to make a new friend, and everyone was ready to embrace someone who they had never met before. And I remember that moment was also incredible because that was in the movies. That's something that we only got to see in the movies here in my native country.
I come from Jamaica, an island paradise in the Caribbean with beautiful weather, great reggae music, and the song of roosters crowing when you wake up. It was scary to come to New England in the winter, but I had to leave Jamaica. In 73 countries around the world, it is a crime to be a lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. I'm a lesbian, and Jamaica is a dangerous place to be an openly LGBT person. Moving to America was the hardest decision I've ever made. I had to leave my two kids, Isana 19 and Malik 17, behind in Jamaica, and I missed the birth of my first grandson, Nathaniel, 5 weeks ago. I also missed the birth of my granddaughter in October of the same year. My kids understood I needed to leave Jamaica so I could be safe. I'm being helped by a wonderful pastor and the LGBT Asylum Support Task Force. They're helping me to live and get asylum in the USA. I hope I can become a citizen.
And I wanted to go to the University of Georgia. It became my dream university. And I went and I was ready. I was filling up my application. I was going to my professors for my letters of recommendation. But as my counselor started to read my essay, she started to cry and she said, Eduardo, I can't believe that you're doing all of this all on your own. We need people like you, and you are an amazing inspiration to all of your classmates. And unfortunately, my counselor told me, okay, all you need to do, Eduardo, it's almost certain that you will get into the University of Georgia. There is no way that they could reject you. I congratulate you. Now the only thing that you have to do is put your social security number here on this corner of your application, and your application is ready to be sent. And in that moment, I told her, I don't know what's a social security number. I don't think I have one. How do I get one? And she said, what do you mean, Eduardo? You don't have a social security number? And I said, I don't. And she was trying to talk to other counselors. Eventually, she came back and she said, Eduardo, unfortunately, last year the Georgia Board of Regents passed a new policy, Policy 4.1.6, and this policy, Eduardo, denies you from even applying to the university if you don't have a social security number. But that was the first time where I felt rejected, as if my work didn't matter, as if I was worthless without a small piece of paper with 9 digits in it. I remember that I continued to work incredibly hard, writing letters, sending letters. Please let me come to your university. Please, this I had a 3.9 GPA. Please, I'm the student body president of my high school. Please, please, please. And everyone said no because I didn't have a social security number. And in 2018, unfortunately, I made a short visit to the state of Georgia. And unfortunately, the state of Georgia laws are very much different. And the local laws, sanctuary laws in the state of Massachusetts. And unfortunately, I forgot my wallet one day. At home, I forgot my phone, and I took a taxi because I wanted to go and have some food. And unfortunately, as soon as I realized that I forgot my wallet and my phone at home, I told the taxi to turn around so I could go and grab my things and so I could pay him. He refused. Unfortunately, he locked me inside of his car and he proceeded to call the police. By October of 2018, I was in prison. I was imprisoned in the state of Georgia. And for a simple $27 fine, I thought that I would be released the next morning, that, I would be just like any other citizen. But I was not a citizen on paper. And so I lasted more than 100 days inside the prison. And unfortunately, I was deported. I was forced to sign my voluntary deportation. And I ended up obviously back in Mexico. They didn't allow me to see my friends, my family that I have made in the United States. They didn't allow me to call them, and they just put me on a plane, and I was sent back to Mexico, to the place that I hadn't seen in decades. I wish that people would always remember that we as immigrants don't choose to just leave our families and everything behind one day. We are forced by the many conditions that affect our countries, and we arrive to a country that we don't know, where we don't speak the language, where we don't know the society, and it's more than just a simple decision. It's the ability to leave behind an entire life and everything that you have built for something that you don't know if it's gonna work out.
We are not here to get benefits. And when we come here, we don't actually get benefits. It's so hard for us to get benefits because a lot of people think that, hey, we're here to take from the system, which we're not. We're hardworking. We work for what we want. We work to not only support ourselves, but to support our families back home.
I would summarize my entire experience in America as a small movie where I was the main character, where people from all walks of life came to me and gave me a hand, where I was able to help people from all walks of life as well, and where I was able to see the best looking side of America and the best hearts of the American people. It's an experience, it's a movie that still continues today, and that I hope that there will be a sequel.